Hey everybody! Welcome to another exciting episode of Ergo Pulse. I am Dan, coming to you live from Japan. Gonna take Ergo into the top 10. Well, not just me. There's this whole team behind us. So, okay, and you get the point, okay? All right. And with me, of course, I have none other than Joe Armenio. I got my coffee today. Here's the coffee.
Right.
It's a handmade cup from Monolith from Wakayama. Really great place to go if you want to go camping in Japan. Yeah. All right. Enough about me. With us today, we have none other than Marty from ErgoPad. Say hi to everybody, Marty.
Hey everyone, how's it going?
We had you on an episode of in an episode of the AMA. We had you on one of our AMAs recently, and it went really well. Everybody was really excited to see you. Everybody was really excited to hear about ErgoPad because it's a really high profile, very anticipated project in the ecosystem. So what we'd like today is for you to give us, like an inside peek at exactly what it is. I mean, is it really like a pad, like a notepad, or is it physically a pad somewhere, like you jump off of it? I mean, does it have to be named Ergo something, or just tell us?
It's a launch pad, like if you had a rocket and you want to launch to the moon, you get on the launch pad, you launch your rocket to the moon. So we're the pad, and then we want to launch other people's rockets. So that's the point. Does that clear it up enough? I know what you mean about not calling everything Ergo. That's why we got Paideia. We got the game Dark Pool. We got a few other projects coming up. We're working with ENFT, although that kind of has Ergo in the name ENFT, but yeah. Right. We're trying to keep stay away from the Ergo something names for you. I know it bugs you specifically, so
it doesn't bug me specifically. It bugs a certain shall we say, dog meme coin on Cardano that's been ridiculing us for that. But
Oh.
What can you do? You can't win them all.
Yeah, they might be jealous though.
Yeah, he is. It's a thing. I mean, anyway. So, Joe, so you've been in the ecosystem for much longer than me. Why don't you kind of give us a little bit of an insight of how important you think having a project like ErgoPad is for the ecosystem? Because I really think that it's a huge deal, because this is something that the ecosystem was lacking, that I felt when I just joined the ecosystem a few months ago. That I felt that the ecosystem was lacking a project like this. And so it's really exciting to see something like this come to fruition.
Well, it depends. It certainly opens up a lot of potential, right? One interesting thing to look at, let's say from this point moving forward, is different ways that ErgoPad can potentially launch projects. So you have the route where it's kind of standard. You go through different seed rounds. You have potential to launch through mining pools. And so I think that just those potential avenues to distribute tokens and launch projects is probably one of the more interesting things moving forward, because we may see a couple of different creative solutions that offer different strengths and benefits to different projects. Now, it also is, they're working on Paideia, which I believe is a DAO framework that hopefully we learn more about today. But that type of joint governance and tooling is really valuable in terms of getting the ecosystem involved and bringing in different strengths from different parts of the ecosystem. So, DAOs are really a fascinating framework overall. There is a saying that I've heard, I don't exactly know who said it. Basically, everybody wants to be in a DAO, but nobody wants to run one. So I'm hoping that ErgoPad and Paideia specifically can bring the tooling and user experience that is more engaging and actually helps people manage the governance and tooling of the kind of joint collaborative thing that is a DAO. So what do you think, Marty?
Yeah, we hope so. We want to take down some of the roadblocks that somebody might have to launching a DAO. We want to make it so you don't need to know how to write code. You don't necessarily need to know much about how a DAO operates. You just have to have an idea and want to share that with people, and hopefully have some people who also share that vision with you who want to get involved. So yeah, we're trying to make it super easy, remove all the barriers, build the tools that let anyone participate in something like that. And that doesn't just, DAO is pretty broad. I mean, that could be you and two other friends want to do a play to earn game, and you need some way to combine your resources because it's too expensive for any one of you to get into, because it's a few $100s for somebody to get into something like Axie Infinity, just the initial investment. So let's say you got 3 friends, you want to take turns playing the game. You can pool your funds. You can use Paideia to manage those resources and those rewards and how they're distributed. Or if you're a dev team, you don't really want to waste your time going through the sale rounds and writing all the code for that because you're developing your project. Come on Paideia. You can initiate the DAO. You can distribute the tokens through the DAO mechanisms and set that all up easy. So there's lots of opportunities. One of them actually goes hand in hand with the Ergo launchpad structure, where we have the staking tier system. Some people are saying that the first tier is too high. The 25,000 ErgoPad tokens is unattainable for the average investor. What you could do with Paideia is you and several friends could combine your resources, and you could stake in that lower tier with your friends and share the profits together. And that would make that more attainable for a group of people. So anything you can do with a smart contract as an individual, you can combine with other people to do it as a group in a DAO.
So Marty, let me ask you something here, and this is that has to do with a more general understanding of the just the terminology, right? So, like Joe said, everybody wants to be in a DAO, but nobody wants to run a DAO. Well, I kind of get the same thing about actually people knowing what a DAO is per se, because I get all these different, you talk to people about a DAO, and a DAO is something, is perceived as something that's really, blockchainy, really kind of new and exciting, but a lot of people lack the understanding of exactly what a DAO is. Okay, so they understand the decentralized autonomous organization. They understand the acronym, right? But in reality, can you say give us an idea of somebody using ErgoPad? What is their experience? What are their thoughts? Would be their thoughts behind creating a DAO? What would be their experience using ErgoPad to launch that DAO and to progress the DAO? Okay, can you give us that?
Yeah, I think there's maybe 2 parts to that question. You asked about what is a DAO in general, and then how does a DAO look on ErgoPad? Is that right?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah. Let's do it like that. Yeah.
A DAO in general, I think it would probably could be explained like a certain set of parameters that exist on a blockchain to help manage governance, to eliminate the possibility of human corruption. So one thing throughout history that just happens time and time again is, you have a great idea, you all want the best for your country, let's say, or in any governance structure. A company could be a governance structure. Everyone wants things to go well, and but some people manipulate those rules for their own benefit quite often. Corruption happens so frequently when the human element is not taken out of the equation. So what a DAO tries to do is remove human greed or human manipulation from the equation. So, some of the examples I used before, where let's say it's you and 3 friends and you want to game together, how would you do that without an automated system? You'd have to trust one of your friends to purchase that token on Axie Infinity. And so you'd give them your money. And without an automated system, there's that trust there. If that person decides to take advantage of that trust and take all your money, there's nothing you can do. They have it. Whereas a DAO would mean that money's on the blockchain and it can only be spent by voting, and everyone has their predetermined votes. And the only time those funds will be released is if that mechanism is followed to a T, because it's built into the code. So a DAO is essentially a set of parameters which prevent manipulation of a shared resource, I think, or at least try to mitigate it.
Okay, that makes sense. Basically, like I said, eliminate corruption. And again, I know this, well, because I'm a blockchain kind of guy. But I do see, a lot of confusion about exactly what it is, and I really thought that it would be good to kind of clear that up first for people that are watching this, so that they're not intimidated by things that we're going to explain later on in the show. So thank you for that. Now, why don't you give us a more specific experience of a DAO using ErgoPad?
So if somebody was to launch through ErgoPad, they sort of then get access to our marketing abilities. So we've sort of developed a reputation in the Ergo ecosystem. We're going to try and extend that reach beyond the Ergo ecosystem as well. So it sort of allows us to put our name behind your project, to say to the community, we vetted this project. We believe that if we collect some funding for these developers or this team, then it'll go to the right place. So anyone could launch a project on their own, but if they do it through us, we're sort of putting our name behind you. And that's kind of the idea behind it. And on top of that, we have these excellent developers on our team, such as Louis Vatra, Noob, Leaf, who have now done a lot with Ergo, and Louis came up with the staking contract that didn't exist on the Ergo blockchain. That's the first time with ErgoScript that's been done. Of course, he used MHS Sam's code as an example to start with. So there's a lot of collaboration and a lot of thought and a lot of things that's already been done that we can share with teams and help them implement in their projects. So you sort of get our knowledge, you get access to our knowledge, you get access to our team, you get access to our cloud and our name, and that kind of is how we back projects. And in exchange, it makes us look good. If we have a lot of great projects under our belt, that helps us with our reputation. So it's kind of a win-win on both sides.
That is actually really cool, and what I wanted to kind of dive more into, since you mentioned it, is so I understand that you just launched staking, as you said, and this is the first staking platform on Ergo, as far as I understand as well, which is really good, because what one of my missions have been is to try to bring tools to Ergo where people can do stuff with their Ergo, right? Staking usually means proof of stake. Obviously, Ergo is proof of work. So explain to us, how does staking really work from a non-technical standpoint with ErgoPad? And again, give us an idea of the average person's user experience staking Ergo with ErgoPad.
Right. So with the ErgoPad platform, you stake ErgoPad tokens and you receive part of the daily emission of ErgoPad tokens. So in the beginning, we decided we'd make 321 million ErgoPad tokens, which would be distributed daily over 3 years to all stakers. So the more you stake, the higher percentage of those you get. So there's sort of the daily interest which you receive for staking your tokens. On top of that, there's a tier system. So within the tier system, if you reach a certain number of ErgoPad tokens staked, you get an opportunity to invest in future projects that we launch. So with Paideia, some of the tokens that we're releasing are reserved for those ErgoPad stakers at a sort of like a lower, they're sort of the VCs of the Paideia project. We want it to be public, so we want to make sure anyone can get involved. We don't want to make 10 VCs own most of the tokens. But to get into that early round at that early lower rate contribution price, you can stake your ErgoPad tokens, meet a tier, and then you get that amount reserved.
So Marty, I heard that today you had a visual UI walkthrough that you were going to take us through for Paideia.
That's right. So we've been working on the UX for a few weeks now, just trying to get sort of the whole thing set up so we know exactly what we need to build. The devs have an idea of where we're going with this. So I can share that. I'm just gonna share the screen here. So this is really early days. This is UX wireframes. This is not how it's gonna look in terms of the design. This is just sort of the basic functionality. So this is sort of the creation process if you were gonna create a DAO. You can come in here. Can you guys see my mouse moving?
Yep.
Okay, so you can come in here. You can put your name. It generates a URL which will be like mydao.paideia.com or .im actually, and then you can make a little description of your DAO. This part's pretty straightforward. Here we have governance options. So when you create a DAO, you'll be able to choose between some of the governance options outlined in our white paper. Optimistic governance is a way where if you need an agile, if you really want to go quickly and remove the barrier, let's say, if everyone can submit a proposal and every proposal requires votes, sometimes it can take a long time to get anything done. So optimistic governance, if you enable that, it allows only certain whitelisted people to submit proposals, but every single proposal passes unless it's challenged. So it can mean if something's super simple and it's just like, yeah, we want to pay the marketing guy what we agreed before every month. It's like, okay, well, every month I'm going to generate it and hopefully nobody disagrees and it just goes through. So that's optimistic governance. You can turn that on or off here. You can set who has the ability to create proposals. Anyone can challenge them, but only certain people can create them. Optimistic. We got quadratic voting, which is a system that does a calculation that tries to prevent whales from having majority control over everything. So let's say somebody has 1,000 votes and then you have 1,000 people with 1 vote each. It will give the 1,000 people with 1 vote each more clout in the voting system than the one person with 1,000 votes. So that's an interesting system that we can talk in more detail about later. We can change vote durations and we'll configure the voting system. What this means is how many people you require to pass. So you could set it to like, you need 60% in favor for a vote to pass or less. It's up to you. And then quorum would mean that at least, in this case, at least 70% of votes in the DAO would need to be cast in order for anything to pass. So you have those settings here. Let's see, then I think you can go next. So here you get to create your token. So you get to create the DAO token, how many you want to issue, the little image that goes next to the token in like Ergo decks, things like that. You can set some initial holders. But here's one cool thing about Paideia is that if you want to set your tokenomics and you want to do some pre-sales and you want to do some, you want to have some reserved for staking and you want to have some reserved for marketing and some go into the DAO reserve, you can set that all up here or you can skip that. So if you want, I think you can assign tokens. You can set some aside for the team and partners. And you can even set the distribution rate. So you could say 0% at first. You could have it start, give the team their tokens 90 days from the day that the tokens generated or 90 days from the IDO, for example. And then it could be a monthly emission. So here you can set your vesting schedule. So a lot of the things that we already do with ErgoPad, you'll be able to do that yourself through the Paideia toolset. Anything like this, you can set aside for the treasury for marketing or whatever you want to call it. You can do a private sale and you can set the price that it's sold at. You can do an airdrop. You can also add like from a file, you could add a CSV file to have all your airdropped people so you don't have to go one by one and add them in. Let's see, public rounds, so you can do public sales. And we're thinking about a way where you could have a whitelist form. You could do KYC if you want, or you could whitelist people the way we do with ErgoPad. And here you could use like an NFT token to know that those people are whitelisted. And then you could distribute those with an airdrop functionality so that once you've done your whitelisting, then you can give people their whitelist token. And that's the way the system as a UTXO would know this person can buy a token, or pardon me, buy the DAO token. So we're already thinking about ways we can do this from a UTXO, from a smart contract standpoint. So the idea is everything that you set up here is all going to be built with smart contracts and automated. So once it's set, nobody can manipulate it. It's all ready to go. And then liquidity that's automatically added to Ergo DEX or whichever DEX is available, if there were more. And then the staking. So as we've built the staking functionality for ErgoPad, you could use it in your DAO and release some kind of staking emission through this tool set. So it's pretty, the scope is huge, but hopefully with the A team we have and maybe some more devs as we bring them on, we'll be able to achieve this. So you're going to get a DAO page made for you on the Paideia website. You'll be able to choose a theme, upload a logo, add a banner, and then add like a footer with all your social media accounts. So I'll hit next. So here we've kind of done everything. You can summarize everything you chose to do. And now if you want, let's say you didn't decide on all the tokenomics, you're not sure about something, you can always publish as a draft. And what that'll do is get you to the DAO page and let you see what it looks like. Let's see. We haven't done a wireframe for that, but it'll be the exact same as if you created a normal DAO, but you can still come back and edit things. Once you actually publish the DAO, not in the DAO and not in the draft version, then everything's stuck in smart contracts, and any changes you want to make, then you have to make a proposal. So if you do the draft version, so this is the DAO, the DAO page. Once you've created the DAO, you get here. So in each DAO, you're going to get like levels. This is just the Web 2 stuff that we're going to do on Paideia. But let's say you have 3 DAO tokens in your wallet. You'll be able to switch between them here. So this will be one of the DAOs or the one you created. So you got your financial summary, you got all your holdings, you got a summary of the active proposals. You can go here, view all of them. You can filter. You got a summary of the latest activity, token stats over here, the socials, just all the information you need in one place about the DAO. If you want to go to proposals, you can see what those look like. You can go into any of them. You can create a new proposal. You can see the ones you've made over here, like my proposals, the ones you've put a heart on, following, ones that have already passed. So we've done a lot of thought on this. So here's what a proposal looks like. You can reference other proposals. Let's say there was one you liked that already passed and you want to say, you know, we did this already. We liked it. Let's do it again. You know, this marketing campaign was great. We're going to reference it and try and do it again. You got your proposal info. When you create a proposal, you can do it all with Markdown. So you can add like headers and organize it really nice, add your lists, everything like that. And then some details about it. Let's see what else we got. So we've got proposal discussions. So people are going to be able to come in, upvote, downvote, have a discussion about the project or the proposal, pardon me, what they like about it, what they don't, why they're voting no, for example, or why they're voting yes, or what they think maybe could be changed in order for them to want to vote for it. The discussion, pardon me. So this is the comments. Discussion is actually, I have to backtrack a bit. When you make a proposal, let me go to the creation page. Let me backtrack here. When you create a proposal, you can create your proposal or you can create a discussion proposal. which is the exact same thing, except a discussion proposal does not go to the blockchain. You just want to initiate a discussion. So say you want to have a marketing campaign, but you don't know about the details yet. You could bring in what you're interested in doing, talk about it, add the details here and say, what do you guys think? Once you have a discussion proposal, under proposals, we can, I think we can organize them, maybe not. Well, you'll be able to filter by discussion proposals. But if you were in a discussion proposal and then you decided, okay, we're ready to go, we like all the parameters, you can upgrade it then to a full proposal. And that will then put your discussion that you already had in this section. So then the full proposal has its real comments, what's referenced, and you can come back to a proposal once it's passed and add an addendum over here. So that would be like if I was saying I want 10 grand for marketing, I'm going to spend it here, here, and here. Your addendum could be, here's the receipts for all the places I spent it. So you could vote. If this was a yes or no proposal, you'd get your yes or no here. There's different types of proposals. So if this was like a multi-option one, you could choose the ones you like. There's a few other views. Ranked, you could rank the ones you like most. Let's say it was like a proposal where you want to change the DAO name, for example. You could tell it to be a ranked proposal. So everyone could rank their numbers, which ones they want, and then that would take a tally of, everyone's first vote would be worth this much, everyone's second vote would be worth this much, that kind of thing. So the system would have math built into the smart contract that would be able to figure that out. So that's proposals. We've got our DAO financials. You can see what the DAO holds, kind of the overall value, latest transactions, kind of a summary. I think there's view all activity log. You're also going to be able to do like repeated transactions, recurring transactions. So that would be something like you hired a dev who you want to pay monthly, and you want to pay him monthly for 6 months, but you want to be able to perhaps cancel that in 3 months. You could do a recurring transaction. It'll be in here. If you want to cancel it because the dev is not living up to what you expected, you could make a proposal to cancel it, and then that would be voted on. So there's options there. And this is the information about the actual DAO token. How much it's worth, how much is issued, that kind of thing. All-time high. All the kind of data you want to know, where it's traded, that kind of thing. You can see the members of the DAO, who's the highest, who's the most active, how active they are, what they've done. So there's going to be a point system based on a proposal. If you create a proposal and it's passed, it's like 500 points. If you vote, it's like 100 points. And then there's going to be upvotes and downvotes on the voting, or pardon me, on the chat. So any conversation you have. So we'll figure that out. But that's all Web 2 stuff. That's way too complicated to do on the blockchain. So that's going to be a service that Paideia offers. We may have a database that is accessible to others where you could run your own backend. So if the Paideia website went down, you'd have access to it there. Because we don't want it to be reliant on the Paideia website. We want it to be always available through the blockchain. So some things will be Web 2, but we're also going to build tools where anyone could run their DAO software on their own device with their own node, and they could access it and do the votes. So you may be able to run this whole website on your own and supply a server for it, assuming ours went down. So something like that is in the works. Can set up your profile. So that pretty much covers it. There's configuration where you can change the governance structures, and these would auto-generate proposals for you. So that's where we're at so far.
Oh, a lot of that's a lot. Guys did a tremendous amount of work there. Yeah, that really does an amazing job explaining how a DAO works and how a DAO works on ErgoPad. So yeah, thank you very much for that. I mean, what are your thoughts?
No problem.
I want to start one. I'm going to start a DAO one of these days, Dan.
No, okay. Am I gonna be that developer that you pay or not pay?
Maybe we'll see how you perform, right?
It's like,
Yeah.
Hey Dan, any tier one exchange listings this month? It's like, no. Okay, cancel.
You're
I
voted
see.
off the island.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's like Ergo is going to be an island, and you can get voted off. Yeah,
Are we gonna add that feature to the DAO?
Yeah, you can
Yeah.
kick people out, blacklist their
Wow.
address. Yeah,
Oof.
that's a great idea.
That's a scary thought. Well, Marty, can you give us I don't know, where do you see yourself in 5 years type of scenario? Give us some insight on some future functionality for ErgoPad.
We're gonna do everything that you can do on ETH. We're gonna do it better, and we're gonna get everyone on board. That's my goal.
Wow,
Plus more, plus extra.
And do you want to know more? Click.
Yeah. I mean, I can elaborate.
Yeah, please do.
Okay. I mean, they got full DeFi, they got flash loans, they got margin trading, leverage. We should do trading bots. We need like a decentralized social media platform. We need a decentralized OnlyFans where nobody can stop them from getting their money. We need decentralized crowdfunding. So like in Canada, nobody can stop somebody from supporting a cause that they feel is worth supporting. We need full privacy of money so that you can send money wherever you want without anyone knowing, because money shouldn't be public domain. It should be private. We need a way that any business can transact in crypto without having concern of the price fluctuations or not being able to cash out in their local currency. We need a way for people in developing nations who have like unstable currencies of their own to be able to just fully have access to crypto on their phone, where they can go to the store or even the market and use their phone to transact and do their day-to-day everything, so that no dictator can take wealth from them by creating too much by inflating their currency, like in Venezuela, like in other countries that are doing that. We need all these tools. We need globalization. We need anyone in any country to be able to learn how to write code for the blockchain so that they can make the same amount of money that we luckily can in the West. We need to share this with everybody and make it fair and safe and private.
It's pretty lofty. I can't say I disagree with any of it.
We got 5 years in this plan, so.
Yeah. Well, I that's all. Yeah, lofty. Like Joe said, those kinds of goals I can get behind.
So, Marty, one thing that I'm really interested in is finding ways to launch projects to miners. That gives us a certain legal assurance in some areas where projects that are backed by work basically have some benefits. Right now we live in a space where crypto laws are very foggy, right? No one really quite knows what's going on. You could even hire, a legal team and they'll say, well, this is my opinion, but, there's not very clear guardrails or standards. And I think having that as an avenue to, potentially launch projects, just because right now, by all appearances, that seems to be safer. But again, we're running around in the fog, so who knows what safe even is. What's your thoughts on that?
I have a question for you then. Are you talking about, it sounds like you're talking about where if the miner is doing that actual work and receiving a token for it, it changes the Howey test, or it makes the token no longer fit the Howey test for a security. Is that correct?
Yeah, there's at least speculation around that. Again, we live in a foggy space in terms of like legal boundaries.
Who knows what they'll say, right?
Who knows what they'll say, but there's an option where you could either create emission contracts to miners, or perhaps you could take a block snapshot and airdrop based on proof of work performed, like post the work being actually done and the block being produced. I would be really curious to see if that's something that you guys would plan on building into Paideia.
I think it's a really interesting idea to use the work miners do for something more than just mining Ergo. I don't know if we could do a token launch which gives the tokens just to miners on the one hand, because then you're making it exclusive to people who can afford a mining computer.
Mm-hmm.
So I wonder if, definitely it's something to consider and think about, but I wonder if you'd still need to allow for the other way to get it. So this is something to think about, something to look into. I don't know the answer at this time. But I do like the idea, definitely. But one way we are thinking about giving miners an opportunity to get involved is a little bit of background in UTXO and perhaps in ETH as well, EVM type blockchains. If you have a smart contract that says a month from now, we're going to emit this many tokens to somebody, unless you go back in a month and submit a transaction to the blockchain that causes that to happen, it won't happen. The smart contract will sit there, and the gate that says it has to be after this date will have passed, but you have to go and actually claim that or tell it to happen. So with Paideia, like, let's say a vote takes 7 days, and after 7 days, we need the smart contract to summarize the votes and then take an action like release funds. Unless we go, or if we have a server running that pushes that transaction to the blockchain, unless we do that manually or automatically on our servers, or somebody else goes and does it, it won't happen. So we want to build a system that's sort of like a system of bots that will be an automatic kind of a cron job, or if you're familiar with Celery through Python, it's like a bot that's waiting for smart contracts that require an automation system to happen. And when it sees one, it does it. So that could be done in a decentralized way with mining work. Instead of putting your work towards mining Ergo, it could go towards processing transactions that need to happen. This could go, I think, one step further. I know Flux, another blockchain, is doing this, where you can contribute your actual computing power to computation. I think Internet Computer as well, but things like machine learning, AI, let's say you wanted to do machine learning that scans transactions on a DEX and analyzes potential investing schemes and gives you an outlook on maybe if this happens, it could go this direction. If this happens, it could go that direction, and gives you parameters based on events. Though that machine learning takes a lot of computation. So you could build a trading platform that has all these prediction models, and miners could be the ones that actually contribute the computation to creating those scans. And so if you want more from that system, if you want a more complicated projection, you could pay some erg, and the miner receives that erg for contributing their computation power to that machine learning structure. So we're looking into this. We're looking into layer 2s that can do this around the Ergo blockchain. Maybe, I mean, the sky's the limit. There's so much opportunity there. So we're thinking about it.
Well, that's some big stuff, guys. I'm still trying to figure out where to put all my JPEGs that I paid a bunch of ADA and Ergo.
Well, you know, Dan, speaking of NFTs, I hear that ErgoPad has a partnership, something about NFTs. I don't really know the details. Can you tell us about that, Marty?
ENFTs, yeah, it's not, the E stands for, or does not stand for ErgoPad in this case. This is an external project that we partnered with called ENFT. ENFT.so is the website. So this is a new project that the guy or the team behind Bitmasks created ENFT. And what this is going to be is like DigitalOcean for Ergo and perhaps other chains. I think they're doing cross-chain with Cardano. So this is a place, it's basically a gallery where you can post your NFTs in a super nice minimal design. When you go to the website, you'll see how minimal it is. And you'll be able to put them up there. And anytime you post an auction, it'll show up on your page. If you're an artist and you use this, you'll have like a gallery that shows all your art and your auctions. So it's going to really facilitate the sharing and the presentation and, you know, the prestige behind NFTs. Because I know Dan doesn't get it, but some people love to show off their NFTs. They bought these things for a lot of money. So this is a place where you can put them all up there. It's laid out super nice, and you can share your own URL with your friends and say like, here's all the Bored Apes or the whatever it is. The yacht
We
club.
have Erg gnomes. We don't have
Erg gnomes, yeah.
around here.
Yeah. Hey, I got my own collection of JPEGs that I paid more money than I should have for. You know, I got. Listen. I am part of that group. I have been enabled by.
Right.
You know, I have my Ergonomsky, you know, the Ergo Hosky collaboration NFT. I got that one. I got a 8 Ape Society NFT. I got Chilt Kongs.
Do you have any bit masks?
I do.
You got a Genesis bit mask?
I do.
Nice.
I think I have like the panda bear on Dice or something.
They're working on so the team behind ENFT is also the team behind Bitmasks, and they were working heavily on ENFT, and then they're going to get Bitmasks working so that you can then breed your Genesis Bitmasks.
Yeah, I tried to get a frog one and then I fell asleep and got outbid. Brutal.
You got lucky. When they were new, they were only selling for 1 or 2 erg, and then they sold for like 30 erg, and then the auction house froze, and then now they're selling for 200. So you could maybe get one for like 140. So
I might have to.
Once we can breed them, then there'll be more out there. And
I don't know how I'm supposed to breed just one panda bear, lonely bear.
Maybe we can have a play date with our Bitmas.
Getting weird. We'll have to create a DAO for that.
Yeah.
I
Bitmas
have
play date DAO.
no idea what you guys talking about, but I think if somebody tuned in and just like at random in this part of the show, they would think that they're like,
It's fine.
Okay, so what the hell am I watching anyway? They're talking about
Yeah, you remember Crypto Kitties, Dan?
breeding bears.
Yeah, except for they're like random things. I'm not even sure. They're masked creatures or
Masks.
something?
Yeah. Each one has a mask. There's like robot ones. There's voodoo mask ones.
I always try to help out the new NFT artists on Ergo. So I got in line for one. And then I realized you're supposed to breed them, which I didn't figure that out at first, and tried to buy another one and failed. So
We'll figure it out.
we'll figure it out.
Well, if you
Yeah.
don't first succeed, try again, Joe.
Yeah.
But I forgot to
That-
say, I got to get back to the ENFT thing for a sec here. We released some gold cards. So we did a contest for ErgoPad holders, and 20 people got ENFT gold cards, which is a beta login so they can use the website. So for now, the only people who can actually post their NFTs there are gold card holders. So we gave away 20, but that's just an example of something that ErgoPad holders will maybe have access to in the future. We'll do more partnerships like this and give you a chance to get that in the future. So stay tuned for more.
Awesome.
Well, awesome. That's really cool. Well, Marty, listen, I am really excited about this project. I'm really excited about ErgoPad. I think it's just what the ecosystem needs to really help the ecosystem bloom. Because we do have so much potential in the Ergo ecosystem, and we really need tools like this, like ErgoPad, to nourish projects, to nourish ideas, and to really create structure. Because myself as well, I always struggle with creating structure for any of my entrepreneurial ideas, right? Because you have this idea in your head and it's to you, it makes sense. But once you start laying it out on paper or proverbial paper, because I don't use paper anymore except for, well, anyway, if when you start laying it out, it just, like there's so these moving pieces that you just kind of get overwhelmed sometimes. And I really think that ErgoPad can really help these projects just ease their way into kind of getting these moving pieces going in the right place, in the right direction, and getting things sorted so that they can get into the crux of things and actually developing the idea and not worry as much about, okay, well, I want a DAO. So what do I do with that? How does that work? How does all this stuff work? How does marketing work? It's just really, really important. I really hope that your project is a huge success in the ecosystem. I can see it totally being that. I'm sure that Joe feels the same way. Don't you do, Joe, right? You feel the same.
Yeah. I'm excited to see what they come up with and always happy to try to help.
Yeah, absolutely. Same here. Please let us know if there's anything we can ever do to help you with your project, to help ErgoPad grow. Also, Leo is gonna help as well. He's been here the whole time. And listen, it was awesome to have you on ErgoPulse. I really did get to learn a lot about ErgoPad. And Marty, once again, thank you very much for joining us. It was a pleasure having you. We'd love to have you again. Just keep on keeping on.
Thank you so much for having me, guys. Appreciate it.
It's lovely. Nice conversation.
Excellent. Well, guys, and so this is us signing off. Thanks a lot for watching, and we will see you soon.